I don't think there is a loser more degenerate, more pathetic than Johnny Somali. His lore is sadder than the ending to Marley and Me, and it's entirely by his own doing, in his insatiable appetite to be famous. Like, his clout obsession has created a terminal illness that has led him down this path that will most likely see him behind bars. And I say most likely, even though from everything I've read it is guaranteed he is going to jail for his new charge that he is now facing. It seems there's no wiggle room for him to squeak his way out of this one. His newest charge carries a mandatory prison sentence of up to 7 years in the slammer. It also happens to be like his 150th charge that he's currently facing in Korea right now. It's because every time he goes live, he asks for $5 donations to commit a new crime. So he is constantly just getting more. We're going to dive into this new charge in just a moment, but I just want to make a strong argument that Johnny Somali is the most pitiful soul that has ever entered the streaming space, period. He is the GOAT of cringe in streaming. He has one goal in life, one purpose, and he's not shy about it. All he wants is to be famous and rich through streaming. He is neither. He is only famous to people that like lolcows and love to make fun of him and throw, tomatoes at him and cover all of his degeneracy. His own community doesn't actually like him. They just really like the idea that they get to control this man's life and send it down the shitter. It's like when you're playing Sims and you tell your Sim to put their hand on a hot stove and it catches them on fire. That's what his community does. They'll put $5 donation there in order for him to break a law so they can watch him get arrested and ruin his life, or have him harass someone in public so that way he'll get his ass beat and they get to laugh at it. So that's his whole legacy. He's also not rich from it. He doesn't make much money through streaming. He makes just enough to survive and also travel to more places for the global ass-beating world tour that he goes on. But the people who cover him, like all of the streamers and YouTubers that make videos about him, they make thousands of dollars. He is actually a golden loot box. He is leading people to a treasure he himself cannot possess. It's almost poetic. He has thrown his whole life away, willingly just sacrificing his freedom for nothing. But it has helped all the people that make fun of him. He provides them with basically an endless source of content, endless source of revenue, because who doesn't want to tune in to the pathetic story of this wild specimen of degeneracy, while he himself gets nothing. He doesn't even get morsels, crumbs, nothing. No attention, no money from it. It's unbelievable. You cannot write someone more pathetic than Johnny Somali. But anyway, let's go over his most recent charge here. Yep, he's guaranteed prison time. That's the good news. It's big, very big. I tried to refrain from diving too deep into it on my own so we could learn together on stream. But this is for the AI deepfakes he was making. This is the mandatory prison sentence, which I recall people were saying would likely be the case because of how seriously they take it. The controversial American live streamer notorious for his brazen antics and public disruptions is guaranteed to face prison time in South Korea. A fifth and most severe charge violating the country's Special Act on Sexual Violence Crimes has obliterated any remaining hope for leniency. The days of online infamy are over. For Somali, the virtual stage that once gave him global attention has been replaced by the harsh reality of legal consequences. They make it sound like he was actually popular. He never has been. The only people who know about him are people like me who follow lolcows. Almost nobody, as a stream watcher, a viewer, will have ever heard of his name. He never even got global attention. The attention he got was the locals of the countries he would visit beating his ass because he would constantly be disrespecting them and making a huge scene every time he went out. This is kind of just going over a lot of what we've already gone over. Here we go. This goes more into the deepfakes. Prosecutors revealed that Somali is now facing charges violating the South Korea Special Act on Sexual Violence Crimes. The charges stem from an AI-generated deepfake video that depicted popular Korean streamer Bong Bong in fabricated intimate scenes with Somali. That's something we talked about as well, and a lot of people mentioned that they take that shit very, very seriously, and that seems to be the case. Under South Korean law, the creation, distribution, or possession of non-consensual AI-generated explicit content is classified as sexual crime. Woof! Legal experts have confirmed that this offense carries a mandatory prison sentence up to 7 years. Unlike the previous charges, which allowed for financial penalties, this particular crime eliminates the possibility of a mere fine. This is not simply an issue of digital mischief, explained a legal analyst, Legal Mindset. This is a serious sexual offense, and South Korea's court will treat it as such. When deepfakes are weaponized to humiliate or defame, the legal system responds with severe consequences. What a fucking W. Oh, what a W. And again, another thing to make big mention of, this is one charge. Keep in mind, he has also pled guilty to other charges carrying a minimum of 5 to 10 years. But this one is a guaranteed prison sentence up to 7 years. I guess we don't know exactly how long it'll be. And he still has more charges to come. He just got new charges when he got arrested on stream the other day. So he is still collecting these puppies like the Infinity Stones. When it's all said and done, this guy actually could end up with like 30, 35 years in the slammer. All for like a crumb. A tiny tiddlywink of internet attention. It's unbelievable. It's a bold statement, but I'm going to make it. I think he is probably the most degenerate lolcow. At least in terms of like the consequences he's facing for being the lolcow. You know what I mean? Chris Chan is inarguably the GOAT of lolcows. No one will ever beat that. But not even Chris Chan received punishment to this level that Johnny Somali is. He's also going to get tried as a repeat offender with all the recent stuff too. I keep seeing that, but I don't know if that's confirmed. It sounds reasonable, like that sounds right. South Korea has cemented its reputation as a global leader in combating digital sex crimes. The country's strict laws were forfeited following a series of high-profile cases involving sexually explicit deepfakes and online harassment. In 2024, lawmakers passed legislation criminalizing the possession and viewing of non-consensual deepfake content. The penalties are unyielding. Offenders face up to 3 years in prison or fines reaching 30 million won, or 22.6k. Distributing or profiting from such content carries even harsher consequences, with sentences up to 7 years behind bars, which is what Johnny Somali's facing. South Korean society, still healing from past cases of cyber exploitation, has shown little patience for perpetrators like Somali. That is an understatement. They beat his ass every single time he goes live. They literally had a UAV online where they'd track him, follow him, and beat him. Oh yeah, they were fucking spawn camping him. In one of his streams, I already showed the clip multiple times, but in one of his streams, he literally leaves his hotel, and right after he gets out of his hotel, he just gets his ass beat. It's like GTA RP when you leave the hospital, but your ops are still waiting. It was so good. And this is just going over what we already talked about when he went to court. He went to court beyond hungover and just being extremely disrespectful. He was over an hour late. Yeah, we already went over all that. Also, we're coming up on his next appearance in court. It's next week, I believe. What would this guy even do? You're probably not familiar with his face because usually it's face down in some concrete after getting his ass beat. But he's an IRL streamer whose entire content was just breaking laws on stream for like donations and just being racist to everyone in every country he'd visit, trying to provoke them into a confrontation, and then he'd get his ass beat and cry about it. He did this in many places. Most notably before Korea was Japan. And that's just been his whole content. His viewers goad him into breaking more laws for their own entertainment, their own amusement, watching him throw away his life. And he does it with a big smile on his face, drinking himself into a coma every night on stream. It's fascinating. He doesn't stream on Kick. Kick doesn't even let him on there. He streams on Party. And even Party fucking banned him. I think they took the ban back, like he's allowed to stream again, but even Party, which I didn't even know they had ban features over there, they banned him for a little bit.